One.
Alright, what's going on, guys? So today we're going to go ahead and cover the install on the Acura RS6 for our dual fuel tanks. Now these are specifically designed to be for all-wheel drive and carry your fuel underneath the car, as most of us probably have run it in the back of our trunk, and we always get that smell. So we found a solution here. We're able to run it underneath the car, and we're able to offer a dual tank, and we also offer a single tank. But we're gonna go ahead and cover the whole details about the install. One thing I do want to mention is that these tanks are only for the 02 to 04 RS6. I will cover some details for the 05 or 06 if you are interested in that. But like I mentioned, these are only for the RS6. They've only been tested on the RS6. So don't ask if they fit other cars, because we only tested on the RS6. So we're gonna go ahead and cover real quick about both of the tanks. This tank is an 11 gallons, okay? And this one right here is going to be a 9.2 gallons of fuel. Okay, like I said, I mentioned in the beginning, we offer a single and a dual. Okay, so this is going to be our single. Okay, and we'll choose like this. If you just want to run 11 gallons, that's perfect. Me personally, I don't like to carry fuel inside the car or anything. That's why we did the 19.2 gallons. Okay, so that's the whole reason. Now I do want to go ahead and cover in the very beginning here. Because I know some people are like, oh, I want to buy the single and then after order the other one. We're not doing that. If you buy the single, you're kind of going to be stuck with the single, or if you're going to want to buy the dual, you're going to have to buy the duals. Just being this, it's a lot to do with the inventory, so we'd rather just do it like this. I know it might inconvenience some of you guys, but it's just easier for us to do it like that. So do make your mind as what you want to do. Now the R6, it is a 12 gallon. And this will be 11. So I mean, it really depends. Like I said, me personally, I just don't want to deal with having carry extra E85 inside the car. That's the whole goal, was to get rid of the smell inside the car. So we're gonna go ahead and cover, like I said, one thing I did forget to mention, this are for the all-wheel drive, and this will work for a wagon differential and the CRV differential. We have not tested it yet with the Jaguar, but you know, it's becoming a very popular differential to use here. So we will test it, and if we do have further update, we'll have it there on the website if they fit, or whatever modifications needed to be done. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and cover with the tank. As you can see here, we have the single one, and one of the best things about it is you're able to run your OEM fuel hanger assembly. Okay, and with that being said, we also added a bung here in the back, and this is how I have it on my car, that you're able to run an external pump, and we're going to show you that more of that in a second. As my car, it makes 800 horsepower. A single pump is really not going to be able to keep up with that. But again, if you are going to be, we'll go more in details about that, but I want to go ahead and mention you guys. So one thing about my car is we left the stock unit here, and we left the level here so it can read in my dash. Okay, so that's a great option, and we're still able to have a big fuel tank, a big fuel pump in the car. All right, moving forward, you can see here we have a bung here. This is a -6, and that is going to be your fuel return. Okay, and then you also see another bung here, and this is going to be your breather. And we're also going to cover about that, where the breather is going to go, and exactly all the details about that. Okay, and then you also see 2 bungs here, and this is only going to be on the one that you order a dual tank. So you see a bung here, and you're also going to see another bung here at the bottom. All right, we'll cover more of that here in a second. And then seeing the other tank, it's going to be another 2 bungs here, as you can see here. Okay, so, and that is the fuel is able to travel, and the gases are able to flow, so you can, you know, fill both of the tanks up. That's the whole idea about this. Now, both of the tanks are baffled. What does that mean? What it means is, if you were to do a pool, the fuel won't be like running up and down in your inside your car. So you can see here, quickly show you guys how it looks. As you can see here, it also has like a well inside this one, and that's where our baffle is at on that one. But quickly show you here on this one how that one looks. You can see it there, Jesus? It's hard to see it, but you can see how it is baffle in there, and that's the whole purpose of it. And it's able to, you know, not have the fuel just go in there and go crazy, you know what I mean? So very cool design. So moving on, we're gonna go ahead and show you something else about the dual tanks. So I like to just give you guys as much as I can, and with that being said, We also made the lines here for you guys. These are both -16 AN lines, okay? And we're gonna go ahead and cover about that as well, because you can see here, one goes on the top and another one goes on the bottom, okay? So as you can see how that's gonna look. I like to just offer it. I don't want you guys to be, even assembling this thing is a pain in the ass. And I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's the honest truth. And I would hate for you guys to try to figure out the length of it and get it all situated. So we have it done. It's on my car. So we have the measurements and they'll come with the kit, okay? Very simple. So I think that is it about the tank. We can move on to my car and show you how everything is mounted and how it's all gonna go. I think we can turn the camera on it. All right, guys, so we're gonna go ahead and cover the very first thing is gonna be about our fuel tank. Our fuel pump assembly. Like I said, on my car, I run an external pump. You guys gonna see it here. And the best thing about it, what I love about it, is the fuel sits here all the way in the bottom here, and we're sucking the last little drip of fuel into the pump. You can see how that's gonna be mounted. And if you are not gonna be running an external pump, and as you can see here, we have the bung here for you, okay? It will already come assembled for you, okay? If you can see here, all right? And what we're gonna move on next is gonna be our breather, where exactly that's gonna be going to, okay? That's very important. You gotta remember, there's a lot of vapors in here, and we have to let it vent. And this next step is very critical. You get it right, because you do not want to let this tank, you don't want to close this up, because then there's all that vapor in there. Okay, so what we have done here, so you're gonna go ahead and see here, we have run that line, okay, out to here, okay. And this line right here is a stock one on the fuel system right here. And the next step is very important to understand is, so that line vents out, but what we have also done, we have drilled a hole in our gas cap, which I'll show you that once we drop the car here in the end. We just made a decent sized hole. It's nothing crazy. And what it's not doing is letting the tanks breathe, okay? So it's very important for it to do that. And again, I'll show you that in the end. It's not that crazy. We just drill it a decent sized hole on the gas cap, letting the tanks breathe, okay? So we want to be able to let the tanks vent out. So moving on forward, it's gonna be what did we cover? So we covered this already. We covered this, and we can cover right here where the feed line is gonna be going, so you can fill up the tank, and that's gonna be going here to your stock actual fuel hose. So that's something that I did forgot to mention there. That this will go literally. You're gonna go ahead and pump your car like if you had your stock fuel tanks here, because you're just gonna have to hook up your line right there. So you can see how simple that's gonna be working there, that you just go and hook up both of your hoses, and then you're ready to fill up the car. It's that simple. So that right there, it is an amazing and a huge plus. All right, you guys can see that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and this pretty much will cover pretty much for the most part the install of the single tank, because what we're gonna go ahead and cover here is gonna be the bracket to mount the fuel tanks. And as you can see here, go ahead and zoom in, and you can see here what we have done. We have done a bracket there, and it's completely slotted, and you can see here, and it goes exactly like this, okay. And you're just gonna use another factory bolt. All right, you can see that you're gonna be taking a lot of bolts out of your RSX, I believe me, when you take out the stock fuel tank assembly here. So very simple, just goes there. Okay, I will say don't fully tight everything right here, Jesus, because you want to be able to, you can see how tight it is to the axles, but everything does clear, as you obviously can see this. I've been driving this car for I think the last 2 years like this, and everything clears perfectly. Okay, so you want to leave everything loose, and then move the tanks forward. As you can also see here, the tank is slotted here, going here to the back, where it's actually going to bolt up to your frame here. Okay, so and the next one is going to be right here at the top, Jesus, so you can see that. Okay, so one thing I want to go ahead and mention is, if you are going to be buying just a single fuel tank, it will come with this bracket right here. Okay, so what it's gonna do is it's gonna hook up itself just like you see it here. Okay, boom, you pull both of the bolts there together, and it's gonna hook up here to this bracket right here to give it support. But if you're gonna be buying the dual tanks, they will not come with this additional bracket here for you, because there's no need. Both of the tanks are gonna be hugging each other, and they're gonna be bolted up to here. All right, guys, so we're gonna go ahead and finish up with the other tank right here. Where is it gonna be bolted up? Now, one tip I will tell you is don't fully tight everything. Don't go ahead and tighten all the bolts. Just, you know, hand tighten the bolts, because everything's gonna need to be shifted left and right. So we're gonna go ahead and show you right here the last tank. Where is it gonna be bolted up? You guys already saw that it bolts up right here, okay? And then another bolt bolts up right here on this side. Okay, so you can see the tanks are very, very secure. And the last one's right here in the end. And like I said, all the holes are slotted, and that's being able to give you some wiggle room. Now, I do want to go ahead and mention, guys, these are DSX Pro level axles right here in the back. I don't know how many people are going to be running this, but you can see here that it does clear. So if you were to run, you know, a CRV or the stock wagon axles, they are a lot smaller. So you might be wondering, oh, everything's very tight, and it's being tight because those axles are massive. They're like for 1,500 horsepower, which is overkill for the car. But I wanted to find out if it did clear or not, and you can obviously, it does clear, and that's a good security for you to know. All right, the last thing we're gonna go ahead and clear is gonna be the lines here. So the long one is gonna go here at the bottom, as you can see here, right, how that goes. And one thing I will tell you is, go ahead and put them on without tightening everything, because things are gonna get super tight once you bolt everything up, and you're gonna be fighting it itself. And the same thing for the top one. And one thing I will tell you this is motherfucker to do that top line, okay? And that's just kind of how it goes right here, so you guys can see it a little bit better how it's gonna be looking. So just to give you guys an outside perspective, like this, okay? So you can see here how it's actually gonna be looking, okay? So as you can see here, that one goes there, and the other one goes at the bottom, okay? So just to give you guys a great outside view. And that's why we put the tanks out here, you know, to give you guys that all around view. You can see here how it actually bolts up here at the top, okay? You can see both of the tanks. You can see how that actually goes there, okay? You can see how that actually fits, okay? You can see, and just to give you a whole outside perspective of how this actually looks, you know, and hopefully this will just be like, oh, now actually, you know, I understand it. So you can see everything is slotted, everything is slotted, just to give you that wiggle room to just have it perfect. You know, I mean, even when we were messing with it earlier, we needed that extra room. We're losing it up. Perfect. Everything literally fits perfect. And you can see here the other one here from this side, just to give you guys that extra. You can see here how that's going to be going, you know. So now you understand it there, okay? So that should be able to go ahead and cover pretty much everything about the kit. The last thing I got to show you guys is going to be that my fuel tank cap, how we ended up doing that. And let me show you here for the single tank, so you guys can actually understand it, what I'm talking about, okay? So it's gonna be pretty much going just like you see it here, okay? And where's it gonna be going? It's gonna be going to that hole. Pretty much what we did, we made it landed over here, okay? So if you have the single tank, it will come with this bracket just like that, and it's gonna bolt up right there. So one thing Jesus wanted to show is show you guys our all-wheel drive exhaust fits our tank, okay? So if you're going all-wheel drive and you need an exhaust, we do have it, and you can see here how it actually all fits. And it's a lot of work, a lot. So Jesus wanted to go ahead and show you guys how it all fits and how it all looks. Now this is a full 3-inch to a 3.5 tip here in the end, okay? So it is full straight exhaust all the way to the back, and I think that should have covered everything. So we're gonna go ahead and show you guys the gas cap like I was talking about. So we're gonna go ahead and put the car on the floor, and like I was mentioning from the very beginning, I've been having this set up for about 2 years, and I absolutely love that I actually can carry, you know, enough gas and not worry about carrying extra gas inside my car, because it's terrible. And that's just, it's cool to smell the 85, but after a while, you know, it gets old, man. So we're gonna show you the gas cap here and show you what I actually did here. Can it open up there? Yeah. So you can see here what we have done to my gas cap. Okay, bam. So what we're doing is letting the tanks breathe. Okay, so bam. So there you go. So hopefully the video here is helpful for you guys and show you how to install everything. I'll definitely suggest put it in the lift. Do it on the floor is gonna be, you know, a handful. Definitely have somebody help you, because you're gonna need, you know, somebody pushing up while you put all the bolt on. But it's definitely doable. So thank you for watching.